Once upon a time there was a horrid fanboy called David Rich. He wasn't the wild to see his enemy Paul Tiger. When he decided to take a shortcut through New Swamp, he wasn't long before David got lost. He looked around, but all he could see were trees. Nervously he fell into his butt for his favorite toy, Dark Forest, but Dark Forest was nowhere to be found. David began to panic, to feel sure he had paid Dark Forest. To make matters worse, he was starting to feel hungry. And suddenly he saw a giant dressed in a maroon dungaree disappearing into the trees. How odd, thought Davy. For the want of anything better to do, he decided to follow the peculiarly dressed ogre. Perhaps it could tell him the way out of the forest. Eventually, Davy reached a clearing. He found himself surrounded by houses made from different sorts of wood. There was a house made from jewels, a house made from unicorn, a house made from wine, a house made from meat, and a house made from biscuit. David could feel his stomach rumbling. Looking at the house did nothing to ease his hunger. Hello, he called. Is anybody there? Nobody replied. David looked at the roof on the closed house and wondered if it would be rude to eat somebody else's chimney. Obviously, it would be impolite to eat a whole house, but perhaps it would be considered inacceptable to nibble the hot fixture to lick the odd feeling in a time on it. A cackle broke through the air, giving Davy a fright. A witch jumped into the space in front of the house. She was carrying a cake. In that cake was a dark forest. Dark forest, shouted Davy. He turned to the witch. That is my toy. The witch just sugar. Give the dark forest back, cried Davy. Not on your Nelly, sighed the witch. Unless the dark forest out the dark cake. Before she could reply, for Gianoga reaches from a footpath on the other side of the clearing. David recognized the one in the maroon dungarees. That he'd seen early. The wig saw me to recognize him too. Hello, Bioga, sighed the Wigs. Good morning, the ogre notices Dark Forest. What is this? That's Dark Forest, explaining the Wigs. Oh, Dark Forest will look lovely in my house. Give it to me, demanded the ogre. The wig shook her head. Dark Forest is staring with me. Excuse me, David interrupted. Dark Forest lives with me and not in a cake. Bioga ignored him. Is there nothing you'll trade? He asked the witch. The witch thought for a moment and said, I do like to be entertained. I am realizing to anybody. How can hit the whole front door? Bioga looked at a house made from biscuit and said, no problem. I could eat entire house made from biscuit if I want to do. There's nothing inside the nest ogre. I could eat your house. There's no need to show off side the weeks. Just eat one front door and I only let you have Dark Forest. David was feeling very worried. He didn't want the weeks to get Dark Forest to Big Ogre. He didn't think Dark Forest would like living with a giant ogre away from his house and all his other toys. The other three ogres watched with all Big Ogre put on his biban, withdrew a knife and fork from his pocket. I'll eat this whole house, sighed Big Ogre, just to watch Big Ogre pull off a corner of the front door on the house made from unicorn hang. Will put it down smiling and went back for more and more and more. Eventually, Big Ogre started to get bigger, just a little bit bigger and fierce, but after a few more footfalls of unicorn, he grew to the size of a large novel, and he was every bit as round air. I don't feel to go, sighed Big Ogre. Suddenly he started to roll. He ground so round, the heat could no longer balance. Help! He cried as he rolled off down and slowed into the forest. Bioga never finished eating the front door made from unicorn. Dark Forest remained preparing the week's cake. A bit ogre stepped up and approach the house made from wine. I will leave this whole house side Abira Oga. Just you watch. Abira Oga pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from wine. She gulped down a meal and went back for more, and more, and more. After a while, Abira Oga started to look a little crazy. She grew greener and greener. I could her, walking into the clearing. Wasn't this much doing her? He asked. I am no Abash. I am Oga, say Abira Oga. He talk, exclaimed the recruiter. Those talking butches are the worst kind. I'll better stay away before somebody get hurt. No way, cried Abira Oga, as the recruiter picked her but the recruiter ignored her cries and carried the Oga away under his arm. Abira Oga never finished eating. The front door, made from wine and dark forest, remained trapped in the witch cave. Little Oga stepped and approached the house made from meat. I'll eat this whole house, said Little Oga. Just you watch. Little Oga pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from meat. He got it down, smiled, and went back for more, and more, and more. After 5 oxys platefuls, Little Oga started to feel uncomfortable on the spot. He stopped at eating meat for a moment, then grabbed another forkful, but before he could eat it, there came an Amira wrote a bottom burluder than a rock taking off a proper Little Oga into the sky. Ugh, cried Little Oga. I'm scared to hide, Little Oga was never seen again. Little Oga never finished eating. The front door made from meat and dark forest remained trapped in the week's cake. Tiny Oga stepped up and approached the house made from biscuit. I'll eat this whole house, sighed Tiny Oga. Just to wax. Tiny Oga pulled off a corner of the front door of the house made from biscuit. She gulped it down, smiled, and went back for more, more and more. However, on the next mouthful, the food feels dry out the tiny. August mouth. They try to stuff in another full of biscuit, but once again the food fell off. There's just one enough room left in her belly. This is just no fire, declared Tiny Oga, and stopping it off into the forest. Tiny Oga never finished eating the front door made from biscuit, and the forest remained trapped in the witch cake. That is the weeks I win I get to keep the forest. Not so fast, sighed Davy. That is still one front door to go. The front door of the house made from Jewish, and I haven't had a turn yet. I don't have to give you a turn, laughed the witch. Magains, Marules. They were cooters, boys carried through the forest. I think you should give him a chance. It is only fair. Fine, sighed the witch. But you saw what happened to the August. They won't last long. I'll be right, but said Davy. What? Sighed the witch. What is your signs? Signs of impatience. I thought you wandered for his back. Diving, ignored the wicks and getting off empty pie or a stick. He came back to get to the clearing and started a small campfire, a careful the broth of a pies or the door the house made from Jews and tourists over the fire. Once it had cooked and cooled just a little. Hide to a bit, he quickly devoured the whole pies. David sat down on a nervy log. You failed, correctly the witch. You weren't supposed to eat the whole door. I haven't finished explaining, Davy. I'm just waiting for my food to go down. When David food had digested the broth of another piece of the door made from Jews. Once more, he tossed his foot over the fire and went to 42 cool just a little. He'd ate it a leisurely pace, and then went to 42 digits. Eventually, after several sitting, David was down to the final piece of the door made from Jews. Carefully, he took it and allowed it to cool just a little. He finishes his final course. David had eaten the entire front door of the house made from Jews. The witch stamped her phone angrily. You must have trained me. She sighed, I don't reward cheating. I don't think so, sighed a voice. It was the woodcutter. He walked back into the clearing carrying his axe. This little boy won't fire and square and no hand of a dark forest or a weird chop pure broadcasting fall. The witch looked forgetful. She grabbed her broomstick and placed it behind her. Then hoping she opened the door of the cake. David hurried over and grabbed it, therefore checking in that his favorite toy was all right. Fortunately, Dark Forest was harmed. David thanked the Wakure grabbing a quick souvenir that hurried on to me Paul. It was starting to get dark when David took Paul's house his enemy threw her arms around him. I was so worried, cried Paul. You are very late. Has David described his day? He could tell the Paul didn't believe him. So he grabbed a napkin from his pocket. Was that? Has Paul? David unwrapped a journal made from unicorn pudding. His side almost fell off her chair.